Good morning. Welcome to Ain't Nobody Squeaky Clean. For those that have been listening from the beginning, I really appreciate you. Tell your friends. The more volume we can get, the more information we can pass on to others. This is all informational right now, and the basis of this is just to get as much detail and info as possible out to the masses. I've got a lot to say, and we have the forum now to do it. So today, I wanted to chat about something that's been prevalent for the past few years, but it's been around probably since the beginning of time. Gambling. As of late, gambling has been huge. I saw a report that said when you're watching a sporting event, I believe one out of every six commercials is about gambling in some way, shape, or form. And now in our country, they have made it legal in almost every state. Now, I don't have the stats in front of me, but Texas comes to mind. I don't think it's legal in Texas yet, and Florida started to get on board recently, but for the most part, it's legal pretty much everywhere you live. Now, the thing about it is, it's not coming with a handbook. These companies will sit here and push and tell you that, hey, we're putting money out here to save the schools, or we're investing into the school system, and we're going to bring this casino here, and we're going to put out hundreds and hundreds of jobs, and we're going to help the job market. And that's how they try to sell it to the masses, right? Because they need to get buy-in. They need to get a certain number of people to be willing to approve them moving in to the certain jurisdictions. That's all fine and good. The problem is you're going to create addicts. There are people that have never been introduced to the activity that are now going to be thrown at the wolves. I've dabbled in gambling in my life. And let me tell you something, man. It is a beast that will take over if you're not careful. When I was younger, I had a gentleman that I worked with that used to bet on sports games. And he was telling me how exciting it was. He'd come into work and he'd be talking about, man, it was great. I put a few dollars on the football game, and it really, made the game exciting. So I said, yeah, man, that sounds pretty good, but that's not something that I'd be interested in. So as time went on, I remember a couple weeks passed, and we're in college, and we're working little entry level positions, and um, one of the best jobs I've ever had. I had a lot of fun there. But I remember distinctly this one weekend where he came in, and I said, man, how'd your weekend go? He said, man, it was fantastic. And I said, what do you mean? He told me about the games, and he said, man, I won $400. And I was like, $400? And I think at the time, $400 was probably more than what our salary was or what our checks looked like when we finally received them. So I said, my goodness, $400? Tell me more about this gambling thing. So then he goes into, what his strategy was and how he was getting money and, how he had a guy and this, that, and the other. This is the old days, right? So this is before the internet and things like that. But the level of excitement and the look in his eyes, you know, made it sound like it was just the greatest thing on earth. So, I start looking at games and start trying to pick out, man, I wonder if I could do that. I could really use $400. So, I'm like, all right, I'm going to give you $20 and let's try. And And of course, we lose. So it's nothing. Flash forward, I graduate college, get into my real job, and I have a friend at that company who's telling me about Las Vegas and how exciting Las Vegas is and how great it is and how all the structures look, and he brings in a calendar to show me, look at this. This is a pyramid that looks like something, from Egypt, and look at this. They have this big line in front of MGM, and man, it's just a incredible time. You have to go out there to see it to believe it. So, me and my fiance, we venture out to Vegas and see what all the excitement is. And I have to say, when I went out there, it was a lot better than how he described it. The energy, the ambiance, the feeling, just, it was almost like somebody had injected energy into this city. And then I find out they have, because they pump oxygen into the casinos because they want you to feel a certain way. And when you feel good, you're more than willing to donate your money to this incredible establishment. The pools, the drinks, the food, the clubs, the entertainment. I mean, everything was just set up. It was an adult Disney World. But now here we are in 2026, and no longer do you have to get on an airplane and fly somewhere to put a wager in. You could sit in your underwear, get on your phone, eating your breakfast, sitting there eating your cereal, and put wagers in. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. And right now, when the economy is on its back, people are desperate. Young people are graduating from college and have nothing to look forward to because there are no jobs. But they throw this in your face. The lure of trying to get you to come in, win this money, man. You can't find jobs. You might as well go ahead and try to win this money. You should come in and bet on these games. Look how happy these people are putting parlays in. Put a parlay in. A parlay, for those of you who have never played, is one of the most dangerous bets out there. It's a bet where you lay down a small amount of money and you take a huge risk. But if that huge risk pays off, you get a huge payout. So they show you something, for example, hey, I'm going to put $10 down, but if these 37 games come out, I'm going to win a king's ransom. So, of course, a lot of people want to come in and try that. It's not good. The odds are always against you. Now, I'm going to take a step back. There are some people who gamble at a casual level, and that's great. If you can stay disciplined and you just want to have a little bit of fun, there's no problem with you dabbling in this activity. Go ahead, have some fun with your friends, make the games interesting, put a little bit on it, and see what happens. Obviously, if you have the disposable income and you're disciplined enough to keep it at that level, then sure, go ahead and enjoy it. But those aren't the people I'm talking to today. Those who have never been bitten by the gambling bug don't understand what it is that they could be stepping into. And that is where tragedy can strike. Because once you get a taste, it's just like taking a drug of your choice. The endorphins, the feeling that you get. You think you can replicate that again and again and again. And I'm here to tell you, you can't. So be careful. I know this is Super Bowl weekend, and I just read an article that said they expect this to be the most bet Super Bowl in history. And I guarantee if I look back last year, there was another article that said the same thing. And the year before that, and the year before that. It's just another opportunity to put that information in front of you, to plant that seed, to have you thinking about partaking or dabbling into this activity. Be careful. I had a mentor tell me before, too much of a good thing is never good. So if somebody is putting something in front of you that looks like it's something you've been missing, take heed that that probably is not as good as it looks. So remember, everything in moderation. This is Ain't Nobody Squeaky Clean. Enjoy your day. Stay disciplined. Stay focused. Have fun in moderation. I'll talk to you soon.